Emily was sitting at the luxury living room working on her computer thinking about her boyfriend and the man she loves. But the problem that their families are enemies and can't accept each other. But Emily and Carlos keep loving each other. She was focusing on the computer until her dad and brother and uncle enter the room with annoying face, as they were at fight with their enemies, aka Carlos' family. "You are still in the computer and the work is not done yet?" said her dad in a grumpy tone. "She's always like this," said her annoying brother Jakey. "This is why she needs to grow up and act like an adult," said her uncle in a harsh tone. The three men sighed, annoyed, looking at each other, and then her uncle said, "Your brother here is acting like a kid." Jakey smirked teasingly. "Hey, I'm the youngest here. What do you expect?" He then stuck out his tongue. Her dad clenched his jaw before answering. There may have been an issue. He tried to avoid the subject, but Emily knew exactly what happened and couldn't help but chuckle. Her three men and family looked at her annoyed. "What is so funny?" said her uncle in an annoyed tone. Jakey chuckled. "Maybe she is enjoying that we got beaten by them." Her three men and family sighed, knowing she wasn't angry but amused of the fact that they had lost. Her dad sat on the couch annoyed. "We should get rid of those idiots." Her dad looked at her surprised before scoffing. "Yeah, we need to, but they keep coming at us at the most unexpected time." Emily sat next to him, nodding her head. Jakey sat too. "Yeah, they can never fight in a manly way. They always cheat." Her uncle rolled his eyes as he leaned against the wall. "They are a bunch of cowards that rely on tricks." Her dad and uncle nodded their heads in agreement, while Jakey scoffed, annoyed. "Yeah, it annoys me. Wish they would get their heads out of their asses." Her dad and uncle chuckled at his words, but Emily looked at her brother curiously. "What about you, Jakey?" His facial expression changed from annoyed to shocked as he looked at Emily. He tried to laugh it off. What do you mean?" Emily raised an eyebrow. "I mean, what do you think of the situation that we're dealing with?" Jakey sighed and rolled his eyes. "I think we should just end this stupid rivalry already." Her dad, uncle, and brother looked at her strangely. Her brother Jakey crossed his arms and smirked. "Why not?" Her dad clenched his jaw in annoyance as he nodded his head in agreement. "They won't. They keep pushing us with them and their tricks." Jakey shrugged his shoulder. "Can't we just avoid them somehow?" The three men in her family exchanged looks of agreement before nodding their heads. Her dad crossed his arms. But how are we supposed to get revenge? Jakey tapped his chin thoughtfully. We should find something that can annoy them or make them mad. She was nervous as she knocked on the hotel room door. She waited a few seconds and the door then opened, revealing her secret boyfriend Carlos, who smiled at her warmly. "Hey, Emily." He quickly pulled her inside the room and locked the door behind them, holding her close in his arms. "I missed you," he said softly, nuzzling her neck. He sighed and ran a hand through his hair. "I've been all right, just trying to keep my mind off things." He looked at her with a small smile. "But I'm better now that you're here." He followed her to the couch and sat beside her, taking her hand in his. He looked at her seriously. "We need to talk about something serious." He sighed and ran a hand through his hair, looking conflicted. "It's about our families." He looked at her with a pained expression. "I hate being like this, being forced to hide our relationship because of our family's rivalry." Emily nodded her head in agreement, feeling the same way. "I hate it too. I wish we could just be together without all the drama." He squeezed her hand tightly, looking serious. "I'm tired of this, Emily. I'm sick and tired of having to sneak around like this. I want us to be together openly and without any obstacles in the way." She sighed and looked at him sadly. "I do too, but you know that our families will never accept us being together." He nodded his head in agreement, his expression filled with anger. "I know, but I refuse to let our family's rivalry control our lives." He stood up and started pacing the room in frustration. "I'm sick of hiding my feelings for you. I'm sick of lying to everyone and pretending that we're not together." "I want to hold your hand in public, kiss you whenever I want, and tell the whole world that I love you," he continued, his expression growing even more frustrated and angrier. She could see the pain in his eyes, and it broke her heart. She stood up and walked towards him, placing her hands on his chest to calm him down. "Carlos, calm down." He stopped pacing and looked at her, his expression still filled with anger but also sadness. "I'm sorry. I just can't take this anymore." She wrapped her arms around him, hugging him tightly. "I know, and I feel the same way, but we can't do anything to change our family's minds." He rested his forehead against hers, looking defeated. "Then what are we supposed to do? Keep hiding like we have been doing?" She sighed and pulled away, looking at him with determination. "No, we can't keep doing this. We need to find a solution. We can't let our families ruin our relationship." Emily was in her bedroom, sitting on her bed with her phone in hand, when it rang with an incoming call from her secret boyfriend, Carlos. Her heart skipped a beat as she saw his name on the screen, and quickly picked up the phone. "Hey," she said softly, a smile forming on her lips. "Hey, babe," he replied, his voice warm and soft. "I've been thinking about you all day." She couldn't help but feel the butterflies in her stomach. when she heard his voice. "I've been thinking about you too," she said, her tone filled with love. "I miss you." He let out a sigh. "I miss you too. It's driving me crazy not being able to see you." She knew exactly what he was talking about. The pain of being apart from each other was almost unbearable. "I know. I just can't wait for the day when we don't have to hide our love anymore." His expression changed from one of love to one of concern as he heard the noises. "What was that?" he asked, his voice growing serious. She sat up in her bed, worried. "I don't know. It sounds like a fight." She got up and cautiously walked over to her window, peering outside into the garden. He paused. A look of shock and concern crossed his face. "My family house? I don't know. I need to check," he said, sounding panicked. Emily could hear him moving around, his breathing getting heavier as he tried to figure out what was happening. "Just hold on, I'm checking," he said before his side of the phone went silent. There was a moment of silence before he spoke up again. It's my family. They're being attacked," he said, his voice filled with fear and anger.